Yeah, I mean, I, in general, I think that's like we should be concerned about anything that's a massive infringement on our civil liberties.
Yes.
You know, so it's like you got to put a lot of weight on that. You know, a lot of people died to, you know, win independence for the country and fight for the democracy that we have, and you know, we should treasure that and not give up our liberties too easily. I think I think we probably did that actually. So,
Well, I like what you said when you said that it should be a choice, and that to require people to stay home, require people to not go to work, and to arrest people for trying to make a living. This all seems wrong, and I think
Yes.
it's a wrong approach. It's an infantilization of the society. That daddy's going to tell you what to do.
Fundamentally, a violation of the Constitution.
Yes.
Freedom of assembly, and you know, it's just. I mean, I don't think these things stand up in court, really.
They're arresting people for protesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're protesting and violating social distancing and these mandates that tell people that they have to stay home.
Yeah, these would definitely not stand up. You know, if the Supreme Court here, I mean, it's obviously a complete violation of rights.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear and anxiety in this whole situation. I can tell you from my personal perspective, I fear for my children's future. Because I want them to be free. I want them to be able to make their own choice. I want them to have the ability to decide where they want their lives to go. Not where some bureaucratic agency or some technocratic dictators would like their lives to go. Some of the richest people in the world have been coming out and saying that if you don't have someone to pray to, you better find it.
I said the fucking tsunami was coming. And there you are, that single little horse trying to outrun it. The wave in the financial world, the wave is 1,000 feet high. That one was only about 150 feet high. 1,000 feet high. Remember how they started to say that this was a social issue, not a financial issue? But that social issue is now turning into a financial issue because now the reserves of the banks are being tested. Because people are afraid to go in to try to borrow money. And if the bank can't put out the money, that means the banks don't make any money. And if the banks don't make any money, the only way they can make money is to start to call loans. And when they start to call loans, it becomes a domino effect. And we're going to start seeing that. We're going to start seeing that. For those of you, that's a cardinal and a few nuns that pray for me every day, but I'd get some faith. This is the only religious thing I say during the seminar. I'd start believing in something because you're going to need it. But for those of you that can take the heat, 1, 2, 3 years from now, you're going to be super rich. If you can take the heat. The operative word is if. You can take the heat. Because remember, this system was born of a collapsing oil market 35 years ago, where 10,000 companies went out of business. Well, now they're talking about World Dutch Shell going bust.
My question to you is, your hope in? What do you put your faith in this world? Because this world is bound by laws. If you have a cup of water, you fill it up to the top, and you keep pouring water in there, that water spills over, it gets wasted. Because there's an upper limit to how much water that cup can hold. If you take that same cup of water on a journey, you take a little sip of hope here and there, keep taking sips of hope, eventually that cup runs out. Because there's a limit to how much water that cup can hold. So what is your faith in? Is your faith in this world? Is your faith in the market? Is your faith in American willpower? Because willpower can only go so far. We see that with this calories in, calories out diet shit. Everybody says that it's just a matter of willpower. Well, people naturally only have a certain amount of willpower. Get up early, go to work. Takes a little bit of willpower. You do your job well. Takes a little bit of willpower. Willpower runs out. And that's why I want you to know that if your faith is in this world, then you're probably in bad shape right now. Because things aren't looking too good on any front. God says, "Be still and know that I am God." I know that no matter what situation I am propelled into, that I have the full weight of God behind me. I know that He will carry me, and He will sustain me. Through Him, hope is unlimited, because He is not bound by the constraints of this world. So I'd implore you to take a quick, hard look at what your faith is in. Because if it's in this world, then yeah, you're going to be feeling quite a lot of fear, quite a lot of anxiety. But if it's in God, and I won't tell you what God to believe in, but if your faith is not outside, if your faith is not outside of the constraints of this world, then it is limited. And if you do have faith, then I also want to challenge you. When you come up against these situations that might bring a lot of fear, especially when it comes to standing up to the government, which has a propensity and history of violence towards its citizens. Waco, Ruby Ridge, Kent State. Don't believe that it's not possible, because it's already happened. But if your faith is in you or this world, then you will be fearful. You will not stand up to these threats. But if your faith is in God, what can they do to you? They can kill you. But guess what? That's just the beginning. Now you get to go be with God and be happy. If they don't, and you win, then maybe we start another path, and then we go to the next battle. But if you are bound by fear, if you are bound by this world in the limited amount of hope, then I understand why you might be feeling fear, why you might be anxious. So take a long, hard look and evaluate. Question. I've questioned mine before. There was a time in my early 20s where I had to decide for myself whether I believe this because it's what other people told me to believe, or because it was what I truly believe. And I asked God to show me. And He did. So I'm not bound by the limitations of this earth. And so with that, I ask you, what is your faith in?